Picture this. Sarah gets her first real job out of college. Salary? $65,000 a year. She does the math. That's over $5,000 a month. She's thinking new apartment, weekend brunches, maybe that Peloton she's been eyeing. Fast forward 6 months, and she's looking at her bank account wondering where it all went. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. School taught us how to calculate compound interest on a test, but nobody explained why money seems to evaporate from our accounts like water in the desert. Today, we're talking about how money actually works in real life, not in a textbook. And trust me, once you understand this, everything changes. So what did school teach us about money? Save it. Don't spend more than you earn. Maybe invest in your 401k. That's pretty much it, right? But here's what they didn't teach us. Money isn't actually about the numbers in your bank account. It's about psychology, emotions, and the invisible forces pulling at your wallet every single day. Think about it. When was the last time you bought something not because you needed it, but because you felt something? Maybe you had a rough day at work and treated yourself to takeout. Or you saw a friend's vacation photos and suddenly felt like you deserved a trip too. That's money psychology in action, and it's way more powerful than any budget spreadsheet. Let me ask you something. Would you rather make $75,000 a year while your friends make $60,000? Or make $85,000 while your friends make $100,000? Logically, $85,000 is more money, but research shows most people would actually feel better making less if they're doing better than their peer group. Wild, right? This is why lifestyle creep hits so hard. Marcus gets promoted from $55,000 to $75,000. He's thrilled. But then he notices his new colleagues driving nicer cars, living in better neighborhoods. Suddenly, that raise doesn't feel like enough. He upgrades his apartment, leases a better car, and somehow he's still living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher income level. The money increased, but so did the invisible measuring stick he was using to judge enough. Here's another mind trick we all fall for: mental accounting. This is when we treat money differently depending on where it came from or what bucket we've mentally put it in. Let's say Jessica gets a $1,200 tax refund. That's bonus money in her mind, so she books a weekend trip without thinking twice. But if you asked her to take $1,200 from her checking account for the same trip, she'd hesitate, check her budget, maybe decide against it. It's the same $1,200, but our brains create these artificial categories that make us act completely differently with identical amounts of money. Or think about this. You'd clip coupons to save $3 on groceries, but you wouldn't walk 15 minutes to save $3 on a $1,000 laptop. Same $3 saved, but completely different emotional response. Now here's where it gets really challenging. Our brains evolved over thousands of years to prioritize immediate rewards. Seafood? Eat it now. You might not find it tomorrow. That worked great for survival on the savannah.
But now, companies have engineered an entire economy around exploiting this weakness. One-click purchasing, buy now, pay later, same-day delivery, subscription services that feel like only $12.99 a month until you realize you're spending $400 a year on streaming services you barely watch. David knows he should be saving for retirement. His logical brain gets it. But retirement is 30 years away, and that new PlayStation is available right now. His caveman brain wins almost every time. Okay, so we've covered the problems. You're probably feeling a bit called out right now. I know I am just talking about this. But here's the good news. Once you understand how money psychology actually works, you can use it to your advantage instead of fighting against it. Solution 1. Automate your future self. Remember how we said our brains prioritize immediate rewards? Let's use that against itself. Instead of trying to willpower your way into saving money every month, remove the decision entirely. Set up automatic transfers the day after your paycheck hits. Your 401k contribution? Automatic. Your savings account deposit? Automatic. Your investment account? You guessed it. Automatic. Here's what happens. Within 2 weeks, you forget that money was ever yours to spend. Your brain adjusts to the new amount showing up in your checking account, and that becomes your new baseline. Rachel did this when she got a raise. Instead of seeing the extra $500 a month in her account, she immediately routed $400 to savings and investments. She gave herself a $100 lifestyle increase and saved the rest before she could even miss it. A year later, she had almost $5,000 saved without feeling like she'd sacrificed anything. The secret? She never gave her present self the chance to spend her future self's money. Solution 2. Build your money identity. Here's a question that might seem weird. Who are you with money? Most people have never actually thought about this, but the story you tell yourself about money shapes every financial decision you make. If you think I'm just bad with money, guess what? You'll be bad with money. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Instead, try this. Start identifying as the person you want to become financially. I'm someone who invests for the future. I'm building wealth for my family. I'm the kind of person who makes intentional money decisions. When Michael reframed his identity from I'm broke to I'm building my financial foundation, something shifted. Suddenly, skipping the $15 lunch out wasn't deprivation. It was aligned with who he was becoming. He wasn't sacrificing. He was investing in his identity. Small mindset shift, massive behavioral change. Solution 3. Use spending audits, not budgets. Be honest. How many budgets have you created and abandoned? If you're like most people, the answer is too many to count. Traditional budgets fail because they're based on restriction and perfection. You go over your restaurant budget by $50, feel like a failure, and give up entirely. Instead, try a spending audit. Once a month, look through your bank statement and divide your spending into 3 categories. 1. Loved it. This brought me genuine value or joy. 2. Neutral. Necessary but unmemorable. 3. Regret. Why did I buy this?
The goal isn't to judge yourself, it's to notice patterns. Maybe you realize you spend $200 a month on coffee shops, but only actually enjoyed 3 of those coffees. Or you're paying for a gym membership you haven't used in 4 months. Lisa did this and discovered she was spending $180 a month on subscription boxes she'd forgotten about. She canceled 3 of them, kept one she actually loved, and redirected that money to her vacation fund. No willpower required, just awareness. Solution 4, the 24-hour rule for big purchases. Remember that instant gratification economy we talked about? Here's your defense mechanism, the 24-hour rule. Any purchase over a certain amount, you decide, maybe $100, maybe $50. You wait 24 hours before buying. Add it to your cart, bookmark it, whatever. Just don't click purchase. 2 things happen during that waiting period. First, the emotional spike that made you want it fades. Second, you give your logical brain time to catch up to your emotional brain. About half the time, you'll completely forget about the item. That's how little you actually wanted it. The other half, you'll still want it, and you can buy it guilt-free, knowing it's a real want, not just an impulse. Tom started doing this with tech purchases. He realized that about 60% of the gadgets he almost bought, he didn't actually want a day later. That year, he saved over $2,000 on purchases that would have just collected dust in his closet. The mindset shift. Here's the ultimate truth about how money actually works. It's not about the money itself. It's about understanding that you're fighting against millions of years of evolution, plus a multi-billion-dollar industry designed to separate you from your cash, plus your own emotional triggers and social comparisons. Once you stop blaming yourself for being bad with money and start recognizing these forces, you can actually work with your psychology instead of against it. You don't need superhuman discipline. You need systems that account for being human. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one thing from today's video. Maybe it's automating your savings. Maybe it's doing a spending audit this weekend. Maybe it's just pausing for 24 hours before your next impulse purchase. Just one thing. Because understanding how money actually works isn't about perfect behavior. It's about small, consistent actions that compound over time. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start seeing money through this lens, it stops feeling like this confusing, stressful thing you're constantly failing at. It becomes a tool you actually know how to use. You've got this, and your future self is already thanking you. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more money psychology insights, and drop a comment telling me which force hits you the hardest. Is it lifestyle creep, instant gratification, or something else entirely? See you in the next one.